Hi, everybody. This is Jackie with Panama Relocation Tours. Thank you so much for joining me for our live stream. If you could please let me know if you can hear me okay. Type in something in the chat so I know that you can hear me all right. So just a little bit of background about me and Panama Relocation Tours. I moved to Panama in 2010, and shortly after that, I started Panama Relocation Tours. Since 2010, we've been helping people relocate to Panama. We're currently doing tour number 170. So we've done 170 relocation tours. These are the all-inclusive 6-day, 7-night tours. But in addition to that, we also do private tours, and we've done hundreds of private tours also. We also offer, many of you know, we offer something called the Complete Panama Relocation Guide, and that has all the same information you'd get on a tour. So our guest, Gwendolyn and Jon, they got the Complete Panama Relocation Guide, and they did what we call a self-guided tour, where they just went around Panama on their own and checked out a lot of different places. And I'm going to bring them online in just a couple of minutes to talk about all the places they visited, what they liked about it, what they didn't like about it, and then where they finally found their paradise here in Panama. So for everybody, your paradise is going to be a personal decision. What's perfect for one person could be total hell for another one. Right now I'm in Boquete and it's pouring down rain and it's cold. I've even got on a sweater because it's a little bit chilly today. It's been raining all day long. Some people would like that cooler weather. Beach people would not like that weather at all. So it's really a personal decision about what's best for you. There's usually 4 criteria that it falls into on finding your perfect place. Number 1 is the weather. In Panama, at the coastline, it's about 90 degrees Fahrenheit every day, plus or minus 5 degrees. And then for every 1,000 feet increase in elevation, the temperature drops about 4 degrees. So for every 1,000 foot increase in elevation, the temperature drops 4 degrees. You can do the math and you can find your perfect temperature based on the elevation here in Panama. The other big criteria that people have to go by is their budget. Some places here in Panama, like Panama City and the Coronado area, they can be quite expensive. A really nice rental can be $1,500, $2,500, $3,500 or more in those cities. And also the gated communities in Boquete, they're quite expensive as well. However, there's something here in Panama to fit every single budget. Just last week, I helped a couple find a really nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath house in Boquete, all furnished, all utilities included, for $550 a month. So there is something here for every single budget. The other big criteria are the amenities. Some towns are going to have a lot more amenities than others. When amenities, I'm talking about, where are you going to go grocery shopping? Is there a hospital close by? Are there doctors around? If you like movies, is there a movie theater around? So you have to really evaluate the town based on the amenities that are there too. Some towns have a lot of amenities, and some towns, as you're going to find out from our interview, don't have much of anything. And you might have to drive an hour and a half just to get to a decent grocery store or a place where you can buy your favorite bottle of wine. Who wants to drive an hour and a half to be able to do that? The other big criteria to consider when you're moving to Panama is what kind of social activities are available. I know some of you love to go fishing. Well, if you're living in the highlands, there's not going to be very much fishing around. Some of you love to play golf or you want to play tennis. Well, some areas have that, but some areas don't. There's all kinds of different social activities like live music that are very popular almost every day in some towns, but other towns don't have it very much. So you really need to do a personal assessment of what's most important to you in your life. What kind of social activities would you like to have around you to make you happy? What kind of amenities do you need close by to make you happy? If you have some health problems, you probably want to have a hospital close by. Some towns don't even have one. I live in Boquete. We have a little clinic, but we don't have a hospital. So really do some self-assessment and think about what kind of weather you want, what your budget is, a realistic budget, what the amenities are that you need close by, and what kind of social activities you need. So right now I'm going to bring on our guest, Gwendolyn and Jon. I'm going to add you to the stream. Hi.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
Thank you for joining me. And hi, Jon. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome.
You did quite an adventure here in Panama, and you spent 3 months touring all over the country to find the right kind of a place. So before we get into where you went on your excursions, talk a little bit about where you're from and maybe why you're thinking about moving to Panama.
You ready to go? Well, I'm Gwendolyn Fisher. This is my husband, Jon. We've been married for coming up on 12 years, living in the Pacific Northwest, where it is currently gray and cold and drizzly. And we've actually been traveling nonstop for the last 2 years, I think. We're both kind of looking for a place, not necessarily retirement. I'm 51. Jon is to be 65 this year, and we're not ready to sit in a rocking chair anywhere. You know, we're pretty active. So we had been in Africa. We had thought we were going to live there. And then we went to Turkey for 3 months. And although we loved it, we thought, okay, not really. Then we went to Greece for 3 months, and that wasn't our spot. Then we had spent some time in Belize. And I really thought Belize was it. We were this close to buying some property. I mean, this close. When Jon says, let's check out Panama. He lived in, where did you live when you were 10?
Lived right at the foot of Ancon Hill, right in Panama City, near Casco Viejo. So lived there for a year and got to cruise through the local neighborhood and picking mangoes and lemons and getting fruit from the Guinness man. So it was a lot of fun living in Panama for a year. Had good memories of that time.
So his memories prompted us to have a look at Panama. And I have to tell you, I had read a lot of not so nice things. I didn't know too much about Panama. There really wasn't a lot out there. So for me, it was just kind of, let's follow him wherever he goes and let's see what happens. I thought it was going to be miserable, but I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah, we bought your online guide at the request and insistence of a friend of ours who's going to be in Panama next week. So we bought the guide and we were looking through it, and I thought, okay, let's try a couple of different regions. So we first started out in Nueva Gorgona, on the beach.
And for people that don't know, Gorgona is just a little bit east of Coronado. So that Gorgona, Coronado, San Carlos area is kind of one big town.
It's a massive place, and it's beautiful. And the ocean, we were just right on the ocean where you could hear the ocean waves just crashing in and lulling me to sleep, which is what I wanted. I wanted to be near the beach. And after up there, we had decided it was nice, but it was a little bit too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got deep pockets, go for it. But, we don't have deep pockets. So There you go. But we really did like the area.
Go a lot further in other parts of Panama. So yeah, there's other parts of Panama that you still get the beautiful beach, but it's much more affordable. So Panama choices.
This place was great, but it had, as far as shopping is concerned, we could go anywhere and get anything we wanted. It was basically like a little America. There was nothing missing from the shopping, as far as I'm concerned. Food, snacks, wines, clothing. You could get pretty much what you wanted, but you cost a little bit more.
So we went to Santa Fe.
Oh yeah, so after a month there, we went up to Santa Fe / El Pantano. I don't know if people know where that is on the map.
So Santa Fe is just a little bit west of Santiago, which is about right in the middle of the country, and then north about an hour, hour and a half. It's beautiful, but I'll let you fill in the but part.
Well, we both absolutely loved it. And we that thing that you talked about before, that feeling that takes your senses and you want to buy something right away. And we were almost there, but then I had your voice and your face in the back of my head saying, don't do it.
Buy anything.
Don't buy anything. But we were so close because Santa Fe is just this unbelievably gorgeous town straight out of, I don't know if you know the TV show The Waltons or Little House on the Prairie. It has that same small town feel. Everything is slow, relaxed. I think Panamanians in general are friendly people, but up there, people were extra friendly. You could see people with their horses in the middle of the road. The sunsets were beautiful. But if you needed to get stuff like gas or groceries, you got to get in your car and drive, 40 minutes down the mountain. Since our Spanish is still at Juan de Manzana, we knew we wouldn't be able to integrate into that society, and it's really isolating.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm the city girl. He's the country boy. He loved it. There are beautiful swimming holes, waterfalls, hiking, the most beautiful birds.
Mm-hmm.
But it is isolated.
It's like the Northwest, where if you go off into the mountains here in the Northwest, you're isolated. You're around no one. No one's there. You very rarely see another person as you're driving around on these country roads. Well, it's the same way in Panama. It feels very similar to that, with the clean rivers and the friendly. When you do meet people, they're friendly. And that's a real plus, the friendly people.
Yeah.
And that's something, I could settle anywhere in Panama and be happy with, the way I'm treated and the way I get treated by family-oriented people who seem to like everybody, including me. So.
It's just, it was stunning. But if you are a social person, it's going to be very difficult to get that social interaction or even make friends because, people are situated in their little villages and their little houses as, it's family. So as an outsider, it'd be really difficult. And there's forget about nightlife or concerts or jazz or, anything like that.
Live music. There's no movie theater, no mall.
There's no movies. No. And for a part of us, we would be okay with that for maybe a month or two out of the year. But we're looking at where we would be long term. And we're not there yet.
Yeah. It's a nice place to visit. I wouldn't even mind owning a piece of property in around Santa Fe. But as far as staying there, for over a month or two, it's like going camping. How much time do you want to spend out camping?
Right.
If you can camp for 6 months or a year, you could live in Santa Fe for 6 months or a year.
Mm-hmm. So so Santa Fe got marked off the list. Coronado or Gorgona got marked off the list. So what was the next place that you checked?
Connecting. Oh, there we are. Caused by an unstable
Internet probably.
Move your closer router. I don't know what that means.
See you. We can see. We can hear you, but I'm sure it's going to go live again soon.
I hope you're there.
I can see you. Yes,
there.
I can see you. I see you. Yes.
Well, we lose half of what we're seeing, you and us, and so we don't know if it's recording us or not.
It's recording you.
Yes. So we'll it's recording whether we know it is. Or
Yeah. Okay.
we
So
were
we were-
talking. So
oh,
we
Santa Fe.
left Santa Fe and
So you
checked out
mentioned that John lived in Panama City before. Did you guys spend some time in Panama City to investigate living there again also? Because it has all the social life, all the amenities. It is warmer weather, but did you check out Panama City again?
Oh, yes.
We stayed in Casco Viejo, and which is a beautiful place, and within a stone's throw where I used to live, in Panama, and that was fun,
Yeah,
and it is nice and warm, and anything you want is there. You can get in a taxi and go anywhere in the city, they're inexpensively, and so.
But just like Coronado, Panama
Well, the only
City,
reason why we went to Panama City,
Hospitals.
I think is what happened? Oh, I had a cousin.
I think we lost the connection. So I'm sure that they'll come back on in just a minute. Gwendolyn and Jon, we lost your connection. See if you can get back on in just a minute. So just like Coronado and Gorgona, which they said was a little bit expensive, especially the Casco Viejo area, but many parts of Panama City can be quite expensive also. So here we go. We got a new one coming in.
Ah, okay.
Now I see you.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. You're back. That's all that matters.
Oh, so let us get this out. So while we were in Santa Fe, I had a very pregnant cousin come to town to visit, but she couldn't get up the mountain because she had altitude sickness.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to make a detour to Panama City. That wasn't on the list. We had no intention of going to Panama City because of all the negative things that I'd heard from people. Oh, it's too hot, it's congested, you can't get anything. So we just didn't have it. Luckily, my cousin came and we booked a stay in Casco Viejo for 4 days, and I loved it. We both loved it. And luckily, I had a medical issue that I had to go to the emergency room for. So I was near 2 emergency room visits within 3 days.
In 2 different hospitals.
Oh, wow.
One public hospital and one private. And the private one costs more.
But I was so relieved that those 2 hospitals were there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would have done had we been up in Santa Fe because it was an emergency.
Yeah.
So
you would have had to have driven all the way to Santiago, and there's a great public hospital in Santiago. But
right.
And sometimes an emergency time can be the difference between life and death. So that's something everybody needs to take into consideration: is where's the closest hospital?
Yeah, we were so very lucky with that. Just the first day, took me, and the second time I had to go, just called an Uber, and zip in and out, great. But I never used to think about hospitals or illnesses. We traveled into some weird places, and it never came up that we would need emergency hospital, and then it happened to me. And so now I'm thinking, okay, I need to be somewhere where there is at least some kind of medical care. But we didn't want to stay in Panama City, although I loved it. We needed more.
Yes.
So then we went over to Bocas for a month, and it was bing, instant love.
Yeah, it seemed to check all the boxes, whenever, we're not there now, but when I look back at it, it's every day and every hour, there was always something different going on. I mean, it's a big archipelago, and if you're traveling around at all, whether you're in a taxi or however, or walking down a trail, there's something always exciting to see in Panama, So.
Yeah, and in Bocas, they have a brand new hospital. It's a really nice hospital in Bocas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's new, but they started 5 years ago.
Yeah,
we did
get you back.
a private tour with Cheryl Scott.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And at first I wasn't going to do it, but when we knew that we wanted to stay in Boca, says, okay, it's real now. Let's get a private tour guide. And Cheryl did show us the good, the bad, and the ugly. And of course, it was just starting rainy season. And we thought, if this is the rainy season, how bad it's supposed to be, this is great. this is fabulous.
Well, the weather's perfect, and if you're cold, just jump in the ocean. That'll warm you up. And there's so many places to jump in the ocean there. It's just unimaginable how many beaches there are on these islands. Well, you could spend years and years and never go to the same place twice in that particular area. And so, it just seems, wow, I want to explore that. I like the beach. I like swimming in the ocean.
Right.
It was that, the beach, the jungles, everything.
Yeah. Did you only check out Isla Colón, or did you visit some of the other islands also?
Say that again?
I said, did you only check out Isla Colón, the main island, or did you check out some of the other islands too?
No, we actually stayed on Bastimentos for the month.
Okay.
Because everybody kept telling us,
check out
you're gonna be robbed for sure if you go to Bastimentos. And people in Basti are like, you're gonna be robbed for sure if you go there. Everywhere we go, people are like this.
If you go to Bocas, the big town, you're gonna get robbed. And the people in the big town say, if you go to Bastimentos, you're gonna get robbed. But,
you can be robbed anywhere in the world. We weren't concerned. We weren't robbed, by the way. But I knew we wanted to spend a month on Bastimentos just because it was a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
But we have decided that we want to live on Isla Colón, the big island, because he wants his man toys.
Well, it's makes more sense to have the infrastructure around to maintenance everything you need maintenance. If you're out on one of those islands, you have to get over to somewhere else to get any work done, on anything, basically, because the small towns there are really small. I mean, they're so small, that everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
And even their new kids' names,
I think Cologne, even though I had in my little mind that we were going to go off and do this, Robinson Crusoe, Peter Pan, off-grid, Gilligan's Island type hippie commune thing. But the reality sank in. If you don't have your own boat, it will become expensive if you're not on the main island. And, if anything happens again, at least we'll be near a hospital on the main island. And there's lots of jazz on the island.
Yes.
And if you own a vehicle, you can transfer it to the mainland. So you can actually have a vehicle on Isla Colón, whereas you can't really have a vehicle anywhere else. There wouldn't be anywhere to drive it if you did. But on Isla Colón, you can drive and you can have a vehicle, and for $30, it's the mainland.
Oh, there you go.
And so that gives us the option of just, checking out more Panama once we move there. So.
Yeah, every day the ferry, you can put your car on the ferry to go back to the mainland and maybe go to PriceSmart or just do some shopping around and then spend the night and then go back the next day and get on the ferry and go right back to Isla Colón.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's very doable. Only when we leave the island in our vehicle, we'll probably spend a week or two on the mainland, just because we can, and go check out another area. If you're gonna go, spend $30, we'll get your money's worth.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Panama is such a big country. I mean, it's a little country, but it's geographically it's big, it's diverse, it has so many beautiful things. I honestly don't see us settling down permanently anywhere in the world, But if we had to have a jumping off point and and we are selling our house, buy a house to move to Panama, Bocas is it. That's the place.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad you found your perfect place. I remember seeing all the pictures of you both in Bocas, and you both look so happy. I saw a big smile on your face every single day. You were so happy there.
There's just no stress, and there's less things to stress about. And if you are stressing, people will come up and say, "Why are you stressing?" I mean, that's what they would want to say to you, even though they might not, because because their culture is such that it's just so relaxed, and so you want to, it's contagious, being around these relaxed people. And I want to be relaxed too.
We had so much to do. I didn't get bored, even when it rained. I thought, okay, can I live here with the rain? Everybody complains about it. And I thought, wow, this is beautiful. The rain was warm. It just made me want to take a nap or read a book. Yeah. So it was very relaxing. And
it seems to come and go. And when it leaves, wear the proper clothes, with 10 minutes, you're dry, or 20, and you don't even, you're not cold, you're not shivering, you didn't, you got caught out in the rain, and so you got soaked. But it dries off pretty quick. It doesn't ruin your day.
No. One of the other things I really liked about Bocas was the diversity. There's so many quirky people there, and we are considered quirky people.
People getting off elbows, coming from different parts of the world.
They have a different outlook on the world, put it that way. So many different people, young, old, from all different backgrounds, different languages, surfers. Even the local people.
A lot of surfers.
I didn't feel out of place at all. At all. It was like, I'm home. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the same thing with so many people that become expats that live in another country. Is you have to be adventurous just to make that move to another country. And the kind of people that you'll meet here in Panama, you would probably never meet them in the town where you live in Washington or Texas or wherever it is, but you meet so many unique people from all over the world, all kind of different backgrounds, and it's just fun to meet interesting people.
And you know what? Everybody, when we told people that we were moving, they were so sweet. Everyone coming out, with helping, suggestions, advice, just how to live, how to get along, how to save money, where the best places to go. Everyone, it was just so welcoming. They want us to succeed. That's the feeling I got.
Yeah, definitely. Yep, they definitely want you to succeed. So are there any other places that you visited? I know Coronado, Panama City, Santa Fe. Did you visit any other places in Panama before?
Yeah, we were in Boquete for a total of 6 days because we had to come back. We were in Boquete for 6 days. Then we went a little bit to David.
Boquete was windy. I thought our window, and at one point it actually broke a window thing free. So the window swung free. It didn't break, but the window swung free, hit the TV.
Oh,
and
no.
The TV fell onto the floor off of a desktop table, and it didn't even break. But boy, we lucked out. That.
So in our dry season, which is about the middle of December until the first part of April, it is windy in Boquete, Boquete especially, and even in Coronado, it can be very, very windy. So there's all these different little microclimates everywhere. Yeah. It can be real windy, and then 1 mile away, it's not windy at all.
I know, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, but isn't that the most beautiful part of Panama? Really, it truly is. If you can pick your environment, your climate.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like too hot, move somewhere else. If
there's so much empty land. It's not like someone has to be displaced before you can move in. I mean, there's you can move anywhere. It's like America in the 50s, just ready for exploitation, I guess, or whatever happens there in Panama. But it seems like it's open for whatever,
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of building going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there is. Now that the pandemic is slowing down a little bit around the world, then the economy is starting up again, and you see building going on, new housing developments, new shopping centers. They just finished the new hospital in Boca, so we'll see a lot of new things happening. So you said that I know that you're planning to move there after you sell your house. So do you have a time frame on when you're going to move to Bocas?
Yeah, the day it sells, and we'll just shoot out of here as fast as we can. That's our time frame. But who knows how long? We might just take off anyway.
Might go. Well, no, I mean we had to. We started the fingerprints.
Let our broker sell the house.
Yeah, we got our fingerprints done yesterday, the day before. So we're waiting for that to come back, and then obviously we're fabulous people, and everything will be fine. And then after that, we're out of here.
Here you come. Bocas is ready for you.
Bocas, here we come. Scooch over. Scooch over. We're coming.
So I know we have about 500 people on this live stream, and some of them are dying to ask you a question. So I'm going to open it up for some questions. So if anybody has a question for Gwendolyn and Jon, please type in 3 question marks in front of your question so that I can quickly and easily identify that you have a question for them. There's all these little conversations that are going on. I've seen questions popping up, but I didn't want to interrupt you. So I know one question that came in is that they had asked earlier is, are you planning to get the pensionado visa?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I probably would if I could, but I don't qualify for that. You can have lots of money, but if you don't have a monthly pension, then you can't, it's hard to make that pensionado visa work, so It's easier for us just to spend an amount there, to buy some property worth $200,000. Now, what we spend for that to happen, is
we'll just go the easy route and just buy some property.
But as long as it's worth $200,000, it doesn't matter where it is in Panama.
That's right.
And it doesn't have to be one property; it could be more than one, as long as it equals the value of $200,000.
I want to ask you that, Jackie, just to make sure. Is that true? Because we got that back from our attorney.
That was our understanding.
That we don't have to spend $200,000 on one. It could be 2 properties that equal $200,000.
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, so we're in.
Yeah.
That's correct. So a question that came in, you mentioned that you went to the public hospital in Panama City. Did you have to wait very long? And I'll add, how did you feel that your care was there?
They don't have a waiting room. They treat you right away. You're
I was in almost immediately. They ask you some questions, you fill out some forms, and we were in that public hospital so fast. And the doctors and most of the nurses spoke English. I was surprised because people kept telling me that the private or the public hospitals, you won't find that. But I didn't have to use Google Translate. They understood me. Everything was fine, even though obviously we had to work on our Spanish. Not there yet. So I was very happy. At the private hospital, they gave us a translator. So a young lady had come down, worked with the hospital, and she acted as our translator.
I thought that was the Hopkins. That was
the private hospital.
Oh, the private, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the private hospital.
Yeah,
that's absolutely true.
And we got in. There was really no waiting at the private hospital either. The only difference being the price.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. When you went to the public hospital, was it about less than $10 maybe?
The price.
We lost your connection again. So usually at a public hospital, even for the emergency room, Gwendolyn and Jon, if you can hear me, we've lost your connection again. I think you're going to have to re-log in. So usually at a public hospital, even for the emergency room, it's going to be like $10, $20. It won't be very much. But if you go to a private hospital for the very same treatment, it can be more like $100 or $150. It just depends on what needs to be done.
Here, but
So-
there it is. Ah, she's back.
You're back. So if you don't mind us asking, at the public hospital, what did it cost compared to what it cost when you went to the private hospital?
It's like 10 cents on the dollar.
Let me see.
Yeah.
That's the difference in the price.
Yeah.
At the private one, you'd pay $1. At the other one, it was 10 cents.
Pretty much.
And
Yeah.
and that transfers right on up.
And that included at the public hospital, that included the prescription
Mhm.
pills that I got. It was a couple $100 for that.
For how many hours in the hospital?
In the ER, I don't know. It felt like all night long.
It was a long time. We didn't get home till after midnight. We got there
Yeah.
fairly early in the day, but that would cost. You don't even want to know what that would cost in the U.S. That's crazy.
In the
now.
private hospital, I would say if I needed something major like brain surgery or a new liver, I would definitely go to the private hospital.
Mm-hmm.
But for other things, the public hospital was great. It was great. The service was wonderful. Price was right. I didn't feel like I was mistreated or being taken advantage of.
Yeah. Yeah. So many people, they have a very good experience at the public hospitals. You hear about stories that are not so good once in a while, but the majority of public hospitals, the experience is excellent. And the cost is usually, $2, $5 with no insurance to go to a public hospital.
This was a very strange, to see it coming out of the blue, surprise. But for what I got at the public hospital versus the private hospital, I felt like the private hospital wanted to see if I could max out my credit card.
Ah.
That's what I kind of got the feeling like, we need a deposit of $5,000. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. What do you
they wanted to do more, they wanted to do more evaluation.
Yeah, I didn't want to stay in the hospital
and just stay overnight so you can evaluate.
I didn't want to do that.
That just seemed like an expense we didn't need to do, and I'm glad we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And the other hospital kind of went along with that thing. They want to help you too, but it doesn't cost, and they're not trying to throw.
It costs very much.
Our eyes at you.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know is that the public hospitals, those doctors are paid by the government. So you're not paying the doctor, you're just paying for the care that you're getting. But those doctors on a salary by the government. So that makes a big difference in what your cost is going to be. So someone asked, do you remember the name of the public hospital that you went to in Panama City?
Oh, not off the top of my head. I don't. But I still have the prescription. No,
Okay.
I don't.
There's a lot of different public hospitals in Panama City. And there's many different ones. You're never going to be very far away from a hospital in Panama City.
Right.
The thing is that at Bocas del Toro, there's a really good hospital there too.
Yeah, we just heard, we did drive by and we saw the new facility. And we also know that, if anything major, they can handle it. The hospital there can handle it. Like I said, if it's brain surgery or, a new heart or a new liver, you might want to think about something. I would, if we were in Bocas,
40-minute plane ride.
I would go to Panama City.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think about going to the States or anything like that because the doctors are doctors and they are well trained.
And they have the latest equipment.
So
Right.
why fly back to the States if I need a new brain? Well, good luck.
So I can't find the question in here right now, John, but someone asked, if you qualify for Social Security and it's at least $1,250 a month, then you could get the pensionado visa, and
Right.
you wouldn't have to buy $200,000 worth of real estate.
But that key figure, the 1250,
Yeah,
that's a key number. And if your number is smaller than that, then you're unable to function with that particular style of
right.
residence.
So don't
You know-
take, even if you have $1 million and
I
save it.
know. Yeah,
They
it's a crazy thing. They should
Okay.
look at that.
You know, yeah, and and I could set up a corporation and blah de blah and pay myself that way and get on a thing like that. But I don't want to do that.
We're just, where are we going to buy property anyway?
We'll
So-
become a corporation for
There
no
are
reason.
some amazing properties in Bocas del Toro. When you start looking, you'll see there's just some amazing properties that are there. And I'll send you a message on Facebook and put you in touch with some other people that have moved there that have bought real estate, and they can kind of show you their neighborhood, and you'll
Right.
see in your price range that some amazing things that are available there.
Right. Well, things become available, at a moment's notice, and they also become unavailable, so we're just kind of waiting to
Notice,
money
exactly.
spend, because
Okay.
we will find the perfect place, and then when we finally sell the house and get there, it's gone,
I'll say this, Panama Relocation Tours family, please send us all of your prayers that our house will sell soon.
It's gonna sell. It's gonna sell in May. I know it will.
It cut out.
So,
I hope.
and let me check on another question that came in. It says some have qualified for a pensionado visa by canceling their Medicare. But sometimes you just don't want to deal with all of the little tricks and everything. And if you can afford it and you can qualify by buying $200,000 in real estate, then just go for it. It's a
Do it anyway. We were originally thinking of Complete.
Yeah, if you're going to buy a house anyway, then just go for it.
Yeah. And that'll just, take the load off and sell this house, buy another one. And
Well, I've always had rentals, and that's how I've made my living, is having just a few rentals, and so that's kind of what we know. And so knowing that, I want to buy someone. I don't want to rent somewhere. I will rent until I figure out where I want to buy, but that's when it's time to buy. Because
Yeah. Speaking of rentals in Bocas, did you look at some rental properties while you were there?
quite a few. Yeah, there's
Good.
quite a few there.
the place we stayed on in Bastimentos was absolutely a dream.
Yeah.
Just a cute little cabana, nothing fancy, but it was right on the ocean.
Right on the ocean, and the place right next to it's for sale. Right on the ocean. But anyway,
Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, we looked at I swear we were up at Bluff Beach on Isla Colón.
oh yeah,
Some beautiful properties.
there's some nice properties
Even some
there.
properties where you don't see the ocean, it's still gorgeous.
Yeah.
Still gorgeous.
And you're just it'd be like walking down to your local store. You could walk down to the local ocean, which is
The local ocean.
pretty nice.
So you mentioned earlier that one of the advantages of living on the main island, Isla Colón, is that you can have a car there, and you can even put the car on a ferry and go back into the mainland. So are you planning to ship down things whenever you move and ship your car? Or are you just going to wait and buy something
Well,
when you
that
get there?
can be expensive. Depends on your custom official.
Yeah.
Because if he wants to slap you with that duty charge, he can, or he can take it easy on you. He can treat everything like it's new, or I've heard if you cover it with dirt, make everything look old. It's you're better off. And don't bring a car, because the value, they pretty much know the value of cars, and so when they add that certain percentage, whatever it is, 15%, 25%, I don't know what the duty percentage
Yeah, well,
is.
the other thing about bringing a car in is it has to be re-registered as a Panama car within 30 days of arriving.
There's so much. They have such nice cars here. You can get
Yeah.
one of those Suzuki Jimmys. You can't buy those in the U.S. And
It's so
that's
it's
all.
so easy to buy a car in Panama. It's much
you can get
easier
anywhere.
in Panama.
Well, that was one of the things for me. I hate driving. He
love
loves driving.
Yeah.
On Boca, just give me an e-bike
Oh yeah.
or
can
a
have a
four-wheeler,
You can
and
have
then
a quad.
I'm happy.
Quads are not uncommon, and there's not enough roads there and to warrant any danger involved in driving a quad around the city. Do that legally in any city in Panama, but it's kind of dangerous when you're out riding around cars that are going 50 miles an hour. That's pretty scary. But if you're on Isla Colón, then everybody kind of drives halfway decently. You can have a quad and just
So Jackie, I
you don't
thought
really need a car.
I was going to be riding my Italian Vespa around the hills of Boquete, but
Yeah. That will work you can ride that in Bocas, no problem. But in Boquete, you're taking your life into your own hands if you try it in Boquete.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be doing that.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yep.
So here's a good question. While you were in Isla Colón or in Bocas, how did you find the internet speeds there, the quality and the speed? Was it sufficient?
It seems to be you have like 4 different options, 4 different carriers, 4 different satellites to hook into, and cables are running everywhere. I mean, it's pretty much everywhere. Free Wi-Fi is just thick, but it seems to be spotty. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't.
Well,
mostly you get it.
You get it in other places. There's a Selena's workplace on Isla Colón and also by Red Frog, and their internet speeds seem to be decent. But I used to do a lot of video work and motion graphics. I don't do that anymore. But if I had to, I don't think it would be sufficient for large uploading of files.
Right.
But, you want to watch some Netflix or check your email. It's plenty. And who's going to be watching Netflix when you're in Bocas? Just, get on the porch and look outside.
Yeah, too many other things to see. We are supposed to get Starlink in Panama next year in 2023.
Ooh, nice. Well,
So
I'd get it.
That'll be a game changer. Yes.
I think so too. I think it would be real helpful.
Well,
because you can have it on a mobile. It can be set up mobilely too. It doesn't have to be. Of course, you might have to have an address and whatnot to get the unit. Supposedly he's making them for trucks and stuff too.
That is really
vehicles.
good. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Panama, really surprising. A lot of people kept telling me that it's, and I love my air quotes, third world.
Yes.
No.
It's not like North America, that's for sure, but it's absolutely a developing country. Some parts are much more developed than others are.
Right.
It's like every 6 months. Oh, here's a new thing. Here's a new thing. Here's a new thing that's getting ready to happen in Panama. Like, they just passed a new legislation for cryptocurrency
Right.
to be legal tender here. And so things are just always changing for the better for the most part here in Panama.
I've noticed Panama seems a lot more progressive than a lot of places I've lived. With a lot of things, especially when it comes to their stance on climate change and cleaning up the oceans. That was a really big thing for me because I love water. I love being around it, but I want it to be clean. And Panama is really, really doing a lot to protect their waters. There's even a guy, I think he's on Solarte, a private citizen who's regrowing some of the coral.
Yeah.
Around in that area.
Solarte.
Yeah.
We did an interview with his wife, Michelle, and we have that on our YouTube channel, and she talked about it. Yep.
Well,
and
we
and
saw
they
him
live,
at the floating bar too.
yeah, they live completely off grid, and they're working on growing and improving the coral there in the Bocas area.
It's just
It's beautiful.
Bocas is really, I saw it on videos. I've seen a lot of bloggers do stuff about Bocas, but it really, you can't understand it until you're there. You know,
Right.
you'll see the pictures, the videos, and it looks great. But for me, it was the people that kind of sealed the deal. The people were just super helpful. Super helpful.
I hope you had a chance to visit the gourmet grocery store. Did you go
We
there?
did.
More than once.
I love that store. I love that store. They have, anything you would need, you can get it there.
Oh,
But
anything
there's,
like that. And it's amazing. There's
yeah, there
very
are
few
plenty of
items
other
that
grocery stores there also, but I especially like the gourmet grocery store.
yeah, that's nice.
You know, it seems there's also there's a Bocas for every budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you are a young person or a backpacker, or if you have limited funds, you can live on Isla Colón in relative comfort. I mean, I know I've seen the prices of rentals are slowly going up in that area, but there are some deals to be had. So, and then, for people who have a little bit more of a deeper pocket, there's, lots of things. You just tailor your lifestyle to your budget.
Right. And that's available in a lot of places in Panama, not so much in Coronado area, but definitely in Bocas. You can get a 1-bedroom rental I've seen them advertised for $300 a month for a furnished 1-bedroom. It's not fancy, but you're going to be living in Bocas and you're not going to be in your rental very much anyway. You're going to be outside more often. So there's something.
Yeah.
It's very easy to live outside.
Yeah, there's something for everybody. So I want to thank you both so much for sharing this information about your excursions and your exploratory trip here in Panama. And I'm so glad that you found your paradise in Bocas del Toro. I can't wait to hear about when you get there and see where you move to and continue hearing about all of your great stories. So for people that are on the chat room, one of the things that you might not know is when you come on a tour or whenever you get the Complete Panama Relocation Guide, then you're invited to a private Facebook group that we have. And the private Facebook group, we've become a family over there. Everybody knows everybody. And we share, I like this or I didn't like that, or this worked or that didn't work, or, don't work with this person or this person's great. And that's where we just all share information. So it's great to have that family of people that you can reach out to here in Panama to say, how do I do this? Where do I go for that? And just to have the support that you're going to need when you first move to another country. So we'll be right here to help you.
Oh, thank you.
Or put you in touch with somebody that we know that can help you that's in the Bocas area.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to everybody that was on this live stream today. We're going to do another one next Saturday. I'm interviewing somebody that lives in Panama City. So you'll get to hear what it's like to live in Panama City and why someone decided that that was the perfect place for them. There's a perfect place for everybody. And you don't know where it is till you go exploring a little bit like Gwendolyn and Jon did. Thanks again. Have a good night, everybody. Good night.
Ciao.
Ciao.